Okay, boys, I got 4 different projects going. Uh, my way of thinking about these things is based on watching plants grow and using that time in a multitasking sort of way, which is getting a little out of hand with 4 different projects, but whatever. So I did get these shoots all laid out the way we need, and got the hydroponics Larry doing the thing with the soybeans in a proper way. Oh, look, we got some seeds. We can give her a shot. So this is just going to work. I don't have to worry about nothing. Reset the state of the tasks and then let her rip. Starts at tray 1, says it's fruiting, can't do it. Tray 2, oh, there's some seeds. Grab the seeds. This is the same code as before, so all I really did was change the trays up at this point. Grab the seeds, find the chute where we can put seeds for a moment while we do the other work. And then we are hydroponics Larry, so we could clear 3 seeds, just bam, bam, bam. But instead, using the original code, it's going to take 1, and it's going to say, let's use it. And it's going to take the second one and the third one. And then it's going to go get the seed that it held and put it back, just like original Larry. Except the code's simpler because we don't figure out if there's a bin that we need to send our stuff for recycling into fertilizer. That's all handled elsewhere. Oh, so the trick now is to, you saw that the paths cross. The trick now is to get the one Larry out of the way while the other Larry works. And I don't think it's going to be that hard, but it wasn't. I made a little progress and then got frustrated, so I worked on another project, which is soybeans. All the soybeans come to this tested, that's what that's for, tested path into the reagent processor. Out comes some oil, and we need to stack up the oil. We don't want this thing flooded with oil, and in fact in a minute we're going to have multiple things that need oil, so stack up any oil that you get. There, it's got 5 in it. 6 now. Yeah, because we didn't quite clear that plant. So then we have oil, and then in a controlled fashion drop it into the advanced processor along with some potatoes and some steel cans, and that's coming along. Lots of chute work and whatever, and I got some logic I got to write, but that's cool. So that is the check-in on the plants. Oh, Saturday morning. Is it still morning? Yeah, just for a little bit longer. 4 projects. That one. All right, so let's talk about this. The force field door. It's a mod that lets you just run through this thing. Just as an automatic airlock, holds the gas in, you can run out. It's going to be beautiful. And its cost is not small. It's 100 watts all the time. And there's a penalty cost for the difference between the pressure on one side and the pressure on the other side. So right now my room is at 61-ish. kPa, and if we go outside, the pressure outside that it has to balance to is 46. So I don't want to burn power every tick because those pressures are out of balance. So taking the air from the room into a pump, a bidirectional controllable pump, to hold it is my big idea. So if there's too much pressure in the room, put some in. If there's not enough pressure in the room, put some out. Easy, right? Right? So that's a project. There's 4 projects, and I can only think of 3 just at the moment. I did rework how power flows at my base, so that instead of, you might remember there were 2 crummy temporary little batteries here. This is the battery that tells the story. This is the battery that drives the factory. Everything, or whatever, everything comes here to be distributed, and the energy produced by either the generator, or, which we don't want to run right now, or the, shoot, did I just turn off logic for the, no, that's managed by something else. I don't want these pipes to be too cool. Oh, and along the way I did expand this. Remember, the goal here is to get the exhaust from the generator cooled down to a usable temperature. And this thing works great. This thing maintains the input cooling gases at 75.9 all the time. Can't be anything but. The exhaust gases, of course, come out hotter, and so we've talked about this cheap passive way of getting it to cool down slowly. Well, I went ahead and added in that same sort of heat exchanger action, so that when, I don't know if I coded it, when the generator's running, we're also going to do this. In addition to some slow action, try to get it done faster. And then a while ago I added in, at no point should this drop below 8 MPa. If it does, well then we'll just go ahead and take the warmer gas right out of the thing and keep it pumped up, so it and then it rapidly cools by this. So I've got 2 more rapid coolers, cheap rapid coolers. And so yeah, so I stopped for a minute because these need to turn off if we should ever get cold enough. Well, that's controlled by this. So I can turn off the generators, and I turned those off because of the other project, which is I put 3 of these Stirling engines up in parallel, in serial. So it takes the output from the furnace gas, makes some power out of it, and then I noticed that the exhaust from that effort is also just really hot. So that'll drive the next one, we'll drive the next one, we'll drive the next one. Finally, we're going to say we've taken all we can from it and just get rid of it. And you can see I ran a little test here. I ran this for a brief moment or 2 and pressurized this pipe, and then remembered, ooh, it'll pop if I let this run much longer. So we did, I looked it up, try initially 5 MPa, and it was way too much. Then that canister over there was at 1.33 MPa, or 54.7 moles of gas, and this one is a little bit more. It's about how many percent more? 20% more moles of gas. So let's see if that will blow us up. And the way this is put together, I really need 3 canisters of gas, or it's not gonna be pretty, because he's gonna emit onto that pipe, and we don't want to fill that pipe any more than that pipe, right? So in a minute we'll do that. Oh, and the 4th project is, I started on it, you guys saw it last time, the gas centrifuge startup code should be keeping track of the highest point of stress this run. It starts at -1, or haven't had any. Turn the thing on. Then measure the stress on the thing. And any time it starts to fall, the moment that it starts to fall, the current stress is less than we've seen at a peak, well then we can go to full power. Otherwise, that's our new peak and we loop. Easy, easy money, right? So let's go ahead and do that. at this time. What the fuck? Let's just go ahead and do that at this time. What is it even doing? Are we editing the right chip? We are not. That's what the problem is. We're calling this one sorters for some reason. Let's not call it sorters anymore. Let's call it boom. Let's call it centrifuges. Boy, that's a catchy, clever name for it, isn't it? The centrifuges. And we called him Sentry 1. That's fine. And I know that those pins are set. Let's go. Turn it on. A little bit of power, or a little bit of gas. Stress is going to climb. It's climbing, climbing. So yeah, so the handoff logic between the one thing and the other thing. I put down a chip so that and both sides will read it. And the logic, I think, is simple. If the other side is busy, then wait until it's not busy, then declare you're busy and do your thing. I mean, at a high level, that's what we want. It's easy. How did that get to... Shit, it went right to 100. And it didn't blow us up, but it shouldn't have went to 100 because the stress hasn't peaked. So this logic is for shit. Do you know what this means? This thing doesn't work at all. Any idea what movie I'm talking about? Any idea what actor I'm talking about? I'll give you a hint about the movie. It was Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd tells Michael J. Fox, you got the movie yet? In the original Back to the Future, Back to the Future, what's his name? Michael J. Fox goes and visits the doctor. What's his name? And he's got this crazy helmet on his head. And he says, I can read your mind. You're thinking of... And he says, no. And he says, do you know what this means? This thing doesn't work at all. Well, this thing works. It does work. I don't know why it works, because if I do that manually, it stresses out and fails. So maybe the code's genius. I don't know. Anyway, it's not doing anything now. It hit the bottom of the loop. And it's not doing anything at all because there's nothing in it. So whatever. Hopefully the next logic I write will be less terrible. By now, we should have 3 canisters of gas. 61.7. Oh, right, and then it'll get colder and colder and get more and more gas in it. So that's fine. 61.7 on the 3rd. I think all that matters, well, I have no idea. My guess is that it's only about how much energy will it generate, how much power, and not its effectiveness at clearing the gases. Okay, so let's see. Let's give her a rep. Right now our windmill's at 300, 400. Oh, I moved all the turbines over there. Whatever. And then you turn this on. And he says, well, give me some gas and I'll generate some power. You turn this on. He says, oh, I got gas. I'll get cracking. Make some power out of it. And now this should have some gas in it. And it shouldn't be climbing. Perfect. And then he says, well, let's get some super hot gas from the thing. Watching our stress. Everything looks great. So we've got, just at this moment, 3.2, 6.8. Why is this so much better? Why is he doing 6? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Why is he doing 6? When this one's only doing 3.5. Pressure, less. Temperature, hot side. Oh, environmental efficiency. Way better. Oh, because he's sitting by this, and that's warming him up. This one is wildly... These two are wildly wishing they had some heat around them. This one has some heat around him, so he's more efficient. This room needs to be in a box. If we cared, that's a whole lot of power. I guess we will care because this is not going to stay at 32 MPa. Our battery, on the other hand, might stay charged. What are you doing, man? Why aren't you filling up? It's filling up slowly. It's a big, big battery. It's a big, big battery. Well, this is very encouraging, I must say. This is a significant increase in the power being generated per tick. Crap power from that. Really decent power from GPG at a expense of a bunch of management. And here I just kind of like threw something at the wall and it seems to have stuck. Turn that off, I mean to say. That there, like this here. Well, I mean, we can let this run. That just blows me away. Put some temperature on the cold side. Temperature on the cold side. Why is it 185 and I presume that it's colder here at 257? That's hotter. These numbers do not make sense to me. The hot side number makes sense to me. 1 kk, 900k, 770k. That makes sense. It gets cooler as it goes. The cold side, 169, 253, because it's closer to the exhaust, 182. The temperature on the cold side. Oh, maybe it was the temperature in the... Yes, because this was much colder than that. I don't remember what the temperature ever was on that. This was much colder. The temperature on the cold side... No, because it says it's hotter. I don't know. I don't know what these numbers mean. Look, battery is filling up. If we could do that continuously, we'd never run the GPG, we'd never burn any fuel, but of course we can't because the thing drives from GPG exhaust. Alright, so that's where we are at with our experiment. This is very encouraging and worth coding. Same as the GPG. Maintain a buffer here, and if the buffer gets exhausted and we have gas, well then process it. And I'm going to have to sort out what's going on with environmental operating efficiency. Because it doesn't make any sense to me at all. The next time you see this, I'm going to put this final vent a long ways away, or I could capture it again. I mean, 270 is not nothing. Anyway, I'm going to move this out so that our experiment is better contained. And you know, for that matter, I'm going to really look at the moles of input and make sure that these are the same. All right, well, we can do better than this. Now, shut it down in order. Stop pushing gas into this pipe. Until you brought that down, then stop pushing gas into this pipe, and then we are done. Right? And then you get a storm and you don't need to worry about power for a long time. All right, well, that's that. And I'm not going to flail too much longer with what's wrong with my code. Did you see there? Turn it on, set it to 10. It reads the first stress level. It's 1. No, it's 0. Is 0 less than 1? Negative 1? No. Well, then track on 0. I mean, we can throw in a yield. We can throw in a yield and make sure that we get a tick to really evaluate what's happening. Set it to 10. Get it to rock. There, now it's holding at 10. I'm surprised though. Maybe you don't need to wait. I swear I tested. Don't you have to wait to bring it up to 100 in a previous life? If you simply turn it on, set it to 10, let it run for 4 seconds, and then crank it to 100. Won't it stress out? Won't it? Oh look, we went to 100. We dropped below and it kicked up. He will not stress out. I believe he will. Look at him go. Look at the stress. Hey, my clip's about to end because there's no way I'm going to subject you guys to the noise of centrifuge failure, which we're about to hear, and it's pretty obnoxious. You can hear it. Hear that, and you hear that all the way across the base. It's terrible. All right. Laters.